You know that feeling, right? It hits you around 3 in the afternoon, you've been working hard, and bam, your brain just quits. Suddenly you can't focus, you feel totally drained, and even simple thoughts feel like you're wading through thick mud. We call it brain fog or mental fatigue, but what's really going on inside our heads when we feel that way? Well, we're going to get into it. I mean, it's a feeling we've all had, that sensation of being mentally just wiped out. Your focus is shot, your motivation is gone. But the real question is this just a feeling? Or does it actually fundamentally change the way our brains make choices? Okay, so first, let's be super clear about what we're talking about here. This isn't just about feeling a little sleepy. Mental fatigue is a very specific kind of exhaustion, and it comes with some pretty real symptoms. And I'm willing to bet a lot of these look familiar. Health experts at Calm point out that mental fatigue can pop up as a total lack of motivation or finding it impossible to concentrate. You might get irritated over tiny things or even have trouble sleeping. And of course, there's that classic all-encompassing brain fog. And here's the key. Mental fatigue is the direct result of your brain working hard for a long time. It's like your brain just ran a mental marathon. And unlike being physically tired, you can get a full 8 hours of sleep and still wake up feeling completely drained. So the common wisdom goes something like this. When our brain is tired, we get lazy. We avoid the tough decisions and just take the easy way out. It makes perfect sense, right? A tired brain wants a shortcut. But is that what's really going on? Well, some researchers wanted to know for sure. To figure this out, scientists at the National University of Singapore cooked up this really clever experiment, which they published in the journal PLOS One, to pinpoint exactly how mental fatigue messes with our ability to make decisions. So the setup was pretty simple. They took a bunch of people and split them into two groups. The first group, let's call them the fatigue group, had to do a really demanding mental task for about an hour and a half. The second group, the control group, just got to kick back and watch relaxing videos for the same amount of time. Easy enough. Now, the task for the fatigue group wasn't just boring, it was hard. I'm talking a real brain buster. It's called the NBAC task, and it's this notoriously difficult test designed specifically to max out your working memory and leave you feeling completely fried. And the control group? Well, their job was to just chill out and watch videos. According to the study, this included things like nature documentaries and, yep, even Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So you've got one group sweating through a mental workout and the other one enjoying a movie. A pretty stark contrast, you could say. Now, before and after these tasks, both groups had to make a series of economic choices. The researchers had a really clear idea, a hypothesis, about what they were going to find in that tired group. But, science loves a good plot twist. So this was their thinking. They predicted that the tired people would use what they call satisficing strategies. Basically, they thought the fatigued brains would just take shortcuts. They'd pick the simpler, easier options to save mental energy, even if those weren't the best choices. Makes sense, right? Yeah, they were totally wrong. The fatigue group didn't get lazy. They didn't just switch to a simple default strategy. No, something way more interesting and, honestly, a little more dangerous was happening. So if their brains weren't just taking the easy route, then what on earth were they doing? Well, the data showed this really surprising pattern, and it kind of changes how we should think about making decisions when we're tired. And here it is. This is the core finding. When the rested group was tested, their choices were super consistent. But the fatigued group, their decision consistency just plummeted. You see, it wasn't that they adopted a new lazy strategy, it was that they lost a consistent strategy altogether. The researchers have a name for this: destabilization. What they found is that being mentally tired leads to inconsistent preferences. It doesn't make you predictably lazy. It makes you dangerously unpredictable, even to yourself. And that is the real danger of a tired brain. It's not just about making one bad choice. It's that your judgment becomes completely erratic. One minute you might be cautious, the next you're making a huge gamble. You basically lose that reliable internal compass that guides you, which can lead to some really bad outcomes and a whole lot of regret. Okay, so if mental fatigue makes our judgment so unstable, the most important thing we can do is protect ourselves from it, especially when we're facing big decisions. So how do we actually do that? How do we recharge and get our stability back? So how do we fight this decision chaos? Well, drawing on advice from the experts at Calm, Here are a few great ways to protect your mind's stability. First, take strategic breaks. Seriously, this isn't about being lazy. It's about giving your brain a chance to reset so it doesn't get into that erratic state. Second, prioritize and just do one thing at a time. Trying to juggle a million things is a fast track to fatigue, which, as we now know, leads to instability. Next, declutter your space. A messy, chaotic environment is constantly creating this low-level stress, draining your battery without you even noticing. And finally, get active. Even a short walk can work wonders for your mood and mental energy, helping you get back that consistent internal compass you need for good judgment. So at the end of the day, the science is pretty clear. Mental fatigue doesn't just make you lazy, it makes your judgment completely unreliable. When your mental battery is running on empty, your decision-making becomes as random as a coin flip. So, the question I want to leave you with is this. Knowing that, how are you going to protect your most important decisions?